A small Jewish community decided to build a tunnel. Insane. Why would they build a tunnel? Let's take a look at this review by ABL speaking about the Jewish tunnel.
Chaos erupts after sprawling tunnel discovered under Brooklyn building. On Friday, CrownHeights.info reported the discovery of a massive tunnel underneath a building in Brooklyn's Crown Heights section. The sprawling tunnel is threatening the foundation of the Shabbat Lubavitch World Headquarters at 770 Eastern Parkway, while its construction has resulted in at least 10 arrests, according to ex-user from TikTok. So, as I said, you're talking about illegal tunnels, You're threatening structural stability, and the Shabbat Lubavitch World Headquarters. That's where a lot of the Orthodox Jews meet. That's where they built the tunnel themselves to get from one part of the facility to the other. Now, of course, this is an Orthodox Jewish community. You get about 20,000 strong in New York City.
20,000 strong, who just walk from point A to point B. What's with the tunnel? What's the big secret?
And NYPD came and they were literally pulling guys out of the tunnel because the guys were inserting themselves in there to, I guess, protest the NYPD and or the contractors from coming in to fill the tunnels up. Because again, this is illegal. You can't do this. And they were coming to repair it. They did not want them to repair it. And that's when the whole riot thing broke out. Now, check it out. My man right here is literally coming out of the wall because that's where the tunnel is. Let's watch. And here's a man right here coming through the exterior. So this goes into the building, this little entrance right here. And I think this might be like a newspaper stand. It might have gone over the grate that you could see that he cut out or that someone cut out. I don't know if it was him specifically or not.
That's insane.
So it's a pretty tense scene. It's like a riot going on inside of this particular facility. Now, I don't know what the big deal is. I don't know why there's so much hubbub, why they had to build the tunnel. I don't really get it. Please pardon my ignorance on these particular people and the ways of their community. I don't know a lot about them, but there is a problem and NYPD had to get called out. I think he might.
Shout out to the police officers that had to deal with that. It looked like a lot of pushing and shoving. And now look at the cop with the pepper spray, just spraying them. Like, how do you deal with such a large population just pushing around? Like, no weapons and nobody going above and beyond in terms of physical violence. So, shout out to those cops.
Might be spraying some pepper spray right here, potentially. Now you can see that there's like open parts of the construction, just totally open. And this is what a tunnel is, totally illegal. Now, there's other people that dig tunnels in other parts of the world where there's also a lot of Jews. I'm not quite sure that those people are necessarily seen the same, but hey, I'm just putting things out there because if I don't say it, people are going to say that I didn't say it. If I do say it, then I'm noticing too many things that I shouldn't be.
Like, if you're not part of that religion, it's really difficult to understand how they work and what they're doing. So, for example, I'm not Jewish. I have no clue why a group of young men, because they had to be young men doing this, decided to dig a tunnel. And look at them fighting the cops over it.
Okay, so again, according to CrownHeights.info, the tunnel was discovered roughly 3 weeks ago. A homeowner on nearby Union Street reported hearing suspicious noises in his home over a lengthy period of time. A construction crew who were working on the plumbing system not far from the headquarters also discovered a tunnel while attempting to lay a water line. Like I said, you're interfering with regular people's houses and utilities. So at a certain point, they're going to discover it. And what you're doing is not legal. So now we got a problem with NYPD. Now we got an issue that has to be resolved. And that's what you saw play out with the riots. Okay, if you want to call it that, it's kind of like a low-scale riot. It says a local outlet reported that a number of yeshiva men started work on the tunnel at some point over the last 6 months, working at night. The men allegedly dug a tunnel from nearby mikvah building all the way to the headquarters. Initial reports indicated that construction began during C-19 pandemic, though this report has since been amended by CrownHeights.info after a neighbor reported that signs of construction were not evident as recently as 6 months ago. So like I said, some said it was about C-19 and it was happening during that time, but that's long over with. The tunnel that you saw in the videos I played began 6 months ago.
shout out to ABL for this reporting about the tunnel. And yeah, a lot of questions are left that we got to figure out what's going on. Why are they building
Video
tunnels?
flowing around of a Jewish man crawling out of a New York storm drain. And since this is the internet, everyone immediately made the most insane assumption. This isn't some big conspiracy theory, it's just dumb. These tunnels are connected to a Brooklyn synagogue. For some reason or another, the people who attend this synagogue decided to dig a 50-foot tunnel with no permits or permission because they wanted to reach an old abandoned mikveh, which is a Jewish bath used in some specific rituals. And no one noticed until last month because neighbors heard noises under their homes. I imagine digging a tunnel is kind of loud, so this makes sense. But this tunnel isn't some grand conspiracy. They literally just wanted to get back to their mikvah. But the story doesn't end there. The reason you see a man crawling out of the sewers is because after police found the tunnel, they tried to get a cement truck to go repair it. Because having a giant tunnel underneath buildings when it wasn't designed to be there is a really bad idea. But you see, they wouldn't move. The NYPD came in and said leave. They said no, and then they got walked out in handcuffs. And the guy who crawled out of the storm drain just left before he got arrested too, because sometimes defending an illegal tunnel is just not worth it.
Write down comment below what you think about this whole operation.
So yeah, that's what's happening out there in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York City. You have a group of Orthodox Jews digging illegal tunnels under their facility. And again, I read that the purpose was to get from one part of the facility to the other, to the women's part, to a ritual bath. And I guess that had been closed. Now, I don't know who closed it, if it was condemned by the city. I have no idea why a tunnel was needed to get from there to there. And then obviously that tunnel right there just led to the outside right there on the street. Why not just go through the actual front door? I have no idea. But as I close, I want to say this.
I'm going to stop it right there. But like I said, why don't they just move from point A to point B? Like through the outside. They have to do everything underground. It just raises a lot of questions, a lot of conspiracy theories. So I want to hear what you think. Let's all be verbal on life about this. Talk about it. Dealing with so many people, you know, whenever you have a large group of men and women that look like a bunch of men acting like that, you know, it becomes a tricky situation. So I like how the police dealt with it. No weapons, nobody hurt. There were some people saying that had that been like a group of blacks or Hispanics, it would have been more chaotic. You know, weapons would have been drawn and people would have been hurt. But it wasn't. It was a group of Jewish kids, of men, Jewish men, and that's how they dealt with it. So shout out to police officers for that. But what do you think?
Poppin' that water, man, whole jacket.